Welcome to the Y Connect podcast. As the heartbeat of the community, the Y is a connector where people of all ages and walks of life come together to elevate their health, wellness, education, and essential life skills. Hear the stories of impact and join the authentic conversations where together we'll discover the journeys and pathways people take to connect through the Y. Now your hosts, Zarina, Robert, and Allison.
Good morning, you guys.
Good morning.
Let's get started.
Yes. All right. Well, we have a very exciting conversation this morning. Whether you're a diehard basketball fan, as I am, a dedicated Y supporter, as I am, or just someone who loves hearing about positive impact sports have on our community, which I have carried that torch for a lot of years. Right. You won't want to miss this episode. The YMCA of Atlanta and the Atlanta Hawks have teamed up in an incredible jersey patch partnership that's going to bring positive change to our community and take the game to a whole new level. Joining us to share the exciting details are Andrew Saltzman, Chief Revenue Officer of State Farm Arena and the Atlanta Hawks, who also serves on the Y's Board of Directors, our CEO, President, Lauren Koontz, and the Y's Chief Experience Officer, Kristin McEwen. Welcome all.
Welcome.
We are thrilled to have this just power hitting team. And so we're just going to get started right off the bat. The Y and the Atlanta Hawks have been partners for quite a long time, but this is a slightly different take, this patch partnership. Could someone from the group explain the genesis of how this happened and what does this mean for both organizations?
Kristin, why don't you start, and then I'm happy to receive the torch from you.
All right. Well, I'll kick us off. So, Andrew, as you all shared, is a board member and an amazing board member. And at the beginning of this year, we had a retreat actually, where I asked Andrew to come and speak to our volunteers from all of our community engagement boards on basically reimagining revenue. And it was so powerful and so impactful. I thought, gosh, this would be amazing if Andrew came and presented at our COO conference, which was in Indianapolis this year in September. And so I invited Andrew. I chased him down. I sent courier pigeons. I annoyed him to the point that he agreed. No, he was more than willing to do it. I'm sure arranged several different meetings or rearranged his schedule for us, but came and presented, and it was so powerful. He was our keynote speaker. But Andrew started out with his own Y story and opened up to the group with just how he had come to the Y outside of his volunteer experience. And then something magical happened. And so, Andrew, you're it.
Yeah. Thank you, Kristin. Yeah. When I got on the plane to head to Indianapolis, I was excited about the opportunity to talk about, the power of membership and what we've done at the Atlanta Hawks and State Farm Arena and the similarities between the two organizations. And as I was hearing so many of the speakers talk about the need for relevance and how important relevance for this organization continues to be for the next generation and on, it just wheels started to turn. And as I walked off the stage, I saw so many people gathered around the step and repeat of the YMCA. And for something, it's like the scene out of the Blues Brothers movie where the light shines through the back of the church and hits John Belushi on the head. And he says, "I've seen the light." And I looked at that logo and I looked at that Y logo and I said, you know what? That would look so great on an NBA jersey, specifically the Atlanta Hawks NBA jersey. And we had the jersey patch has been an amazing asset as part of the NBA, their forward-thinking way they look at attaching brands to their teams and their leagues. And so 6 years ago, they launched this program. We had a major partnership with a incredible digital health company named ShareCare. They went public at a huge valuation, and they were going to continue as a partner, but lose the patch asset, so to speak. So we were in the marketplace, and it just kind of hit me. And so I texted Chris. I said, I have to come see you. I have a big idea. That's all I said. I have a big idea. I have to come see you. So I worked with someone on my team who's amazing, named Jennifer Young, who leads our revenue strategy team and has been really running point on searching for a New Jersey patch partner for us, because it was critical. And I know we'll talk more about this. It was critical that we find the right brand. This was not a money grab. This was not, hey, slap any logo you want. Who is going to be truly woven in the fabric of the Atlanta Hawks and our players? So just the more this, I said, I think this is a really big idea. The patch is a global asset, not only a national asset. Obviously, there are YMCA locations throughout the world. So I just thought there was something there, and came in to take my crazy idea to Kristin, thinking she would say, oh, it's really good, but no way. And I think if anybody knows Kristin McEwen, that's not how she rolls. And certainly when we got together and presented it, for my money, truly the most innovative, creative, dynamic thinker in the world of nonprofit, and Lauren Koontz, she got it right away. And then if you put these two together, just things are going to happen. So I guess I'll leave it at that. But it was pretty phenomenal, and it happened pretty quick. And really credit to these two amazing executives who saw the value and the vision of what this could be.
Wow.
I love that story. That's fabulous. And look at what Kristin's wearing, everybody.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
She's wearing the city jersey.
You know what?
I love it.
And while the year is 23, it also is the number that Michael Jordan, arguably the greatest basketball player of all time, wore. So as far as I'm concerned, she's the Michael Jordan of the YMCA.
I love it.
That's right. That's right. Right there, everybody.
That's beautiful.
So, Andrew, this is Lauren. I just want to say, I have this ongoing thing with my son, who's 17, where I say Michael Jordan's the best player, and he says LeBron. And I think there must be this generational thing. Because he's like,
there is 1,000%.
Boomer mom, and I'm like, no. So we need to talk about that off screen at some point.
Yes.
We'll do a next podcast is with your son.
There you go. Sam would be awesome. Love it.
I look forward to that one. Absolutely.
Yes. Let's do it.
Lauren, as the CEO of the YMCA of Metro Atlanta, what does it mean to our organization to have the logo on the Atlanta Hawks jerseys?
So when Andrew and Kristin came to me with the big idea, it immediately resonated. I mean, the idea that the YMCA invented the game of basketball in 1891 in Springfield, Massachusetts, there's this immediate symmetry. And, for us, as Andrew talked about, we're always trying to think about how do we ensure that our brand is relevant? How do we lift our brand in the Atlanta market? How do we continue to introduce the community and youth to the Y brand? And so it really made perfect sense. And I think at that point, we just had to figure out, we were all on board. I mean, immediately it was like, this is the greatest idea of all time. We just have to figure out how to make it happen. And I just, again, want to give credit back to Andrew and to Steve Koonin and everybody at the Hawks, because as Andrew said, this wasn't a typical sponsorship. It really became a partnership very quickly, and trying to understand, how we could come together and do something special and something historic. Atlanta has always been known to be an extremely philanthropic community, and we've always talked about the Atlanta way, how businesses and nonprofits and people come across different divides, whether that's sectors or whether that's demographically. And I think this is a great example of that. I'm not sure if this could have happened in any other city. You have a really great community organization in the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, very, very committed to the community, and especially as it relates to issues around equity and diversity and inclusion. And then you have, the Atlanta Y, that is also a great community institution and anchor. And so really bringing these two great organizations together to focus on youth and community it's honestly a no-brainer. It's just a great idea. And it's exciting to see how how many people have gotten behind it, and can't wait to see what we do with the partnership.
Absolutely. So, Andrew, thank you for bringing this big idea to the YMCA. Now, how do you see this partnership aligning with the Atlanta Hawks values and the commitment to the community?
Yeah, I've been in sports 30 years, and one of my biggest ahas coming from the media side, where I own sports radio stations, to now working for the team for the past 8+ years, truly is how important ownership is. Ownership is everything for a pro sports team. You can have great owners, you can have some not so great owners, but if you have a great owner, and we're really fortunate because we do, in Tony Ressler and Jamie Gertz and our entire ownership group, you can move mountains. And most owners will say, I don't own the team, it's a civic asset. And they may mean it, they may not mean it, but this couldn't ring more true than with our organization. I mean, it is a community asset, a civic asset, and Tony Ressler and Jamie Gertz and the entire ownership walk that walk. They run the run is probably a better way to say it. And everything we've tried to do as an organization is make this community in this city a better place to live, work, and play. And our core values of inclusiveness, authenticity, innovation really speak to it. And when we look, and that's the lens we look through in any partnership. So this was when I brought this opportunity to, not just, of course, our CEO who, again, I know I'm biased, but I think the smartest, most creative brand marketer in sports and entertainment today, and Steve Koonin. But when we had a conversation with Tony and Jamie and said, hey, this is what we think we can do here with the jersey patch, and do something really, really powerful. And the storylines, as Lauren mentioned, of, the game of basketball starting 132 years ago in Springfield, Massachusetts at a YMCA, and how this comes full circle is a great story. But much more important than that, it's how do we take this platform and truly make Atlanta a better place, and access to youth sports. And it fit hand in glove. I mean, it just truly was just something that just made so much sense. And the more we talked about it, the more excited we all got. And the best partnerships are collaborative in nature. I don't care what it is. If you're not collaborative, you're not going to get maximum value. And to have a team of Lauren and Kristin and the entire team, and I just want to mention the board members, my fellow board members who saw this. I had to somewhat recuse myself from the process. They got it. They asked great questions. They pushed to make sure they had a full understanding of what this could be. But, as Lauren said, the Atlanta way is really powerful, and I've learned it in my 26 years living here. And it's so exciting. And the work starts now. Getting to this point was nice. Now we go to work, and our whole organization feels that way.
We really felt it at the launch, where we held this at the Villages at Carver Y, the announcement. All of you, CEO, the owner, yourself, you could really feel that passion and authenticity around your excitement with this partnership. It was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted, you only get one time to make a first impression, but I will tell you, players get pulled in a lot of different directions. And we approached, our superstar and Trae Young, who has his own great story, as does everybody, seemingly that we encounter has their own why story. But when we approached Trae and our basketball ops team said, hey, we're doing this, he jumped at the opportunity to be in the video, to tell his story. We have great footage of him as a 3-year-old, at the Y, learning to play basketball, what it meant to him. So yeah, it was the right launch event for the right partnership, and just, I think, really, to your point, Allison, set the tone for what we can do together.
It really did. You speak so highly of Kristin and her really readiness and availability to just jump in and do anything. Kristin, I'd love to hear from you around this collaboration. What excites you most about what this can mean for our members and the community?
So I know this podcast isn't about what excites Kristin, so I'll try and keep it brief. There's so much that excites me about this partnership. And I do remember at the launch, and I'm sure all of you do as well, when Steve said, this is just like as simple as peanut butter and jelly going together. And I loved that because it just, every time Andrew and I talked, it just, all the little signs were there that this was the time. And Lauren, you said that this is just the time. So there's nothing like this partnership, collaboration anywhere out there. This has not been done with the Ys. So that's exciting. We have the opportunity to build a roadmap for others to look at partnerships in a different way and really deepen those and how they serve the community. I think just going right into that, the endless opportunities. As we develop the roadmap, how does this lead and help not only our Y and our communities, but Ys across the country? And maybe some other NBA teams might want to have a Y partnership as well in their own city. But really, we are at the front of the line to really be the leaders here. And that's so exciting to me. And finally, I'm just going to tell you, and Andrew mentioned it, his whole team excites me. They are brilliant, amazing individuals. And when you walked into the Carver YMCA for the launch event, you thought the minute you came through those gym doors that you were at the State Farm Arena. It was amazing what they did. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is a YMCA gymnasium. And it just was, and Allison, you said it, the excitement was palatable. Everybody had so much energy and just kept going, this just makes so much sense. So now with the Hawks team, which I get to meet with all the time, and they're already like my BFFs on text and email. But what I'm excited for now are our members, our program members, the community, and Metro Atlanta, because you guys hold on to your seats. We've got some activation strategies that are going to blow your socks off. And it is just, again, the sky's the limit. So thank you for letting me share. I kept my things to 3, so I'll sit back now, but there's just so much.
Thank you, Kristin.
Amazing, amazing. You know, Andrew, you spoke, and I love the terminologies of, you referenced the Blues Brothers, you saw the light. It wasn't a money grab. It just made sense. You spoke about the right partnership. I love the fact that you said the best partnerships are collaborative in nature. Can you just kind of expound a little bit more on when you said that the work starts now and how this is going to give a little bit more access to youth sports, how this aligns with your commitment to this partnership, how this aligns with the Hawks and the State Farm's commitment to this partnership with the YMCA?
Yeah, sure, Robert. I think oftentimes in business I've seen people work so hard to get to the point of consummation of the deal. It's like, oh, great, got it. And I've just lived my whole career that however hard you think you work to get to that point, whether it happened in 6 weeks, 6 months, or 6 years, it is much more about once the pen hits the paper, okay, and you throw an agreement in the door, you have a letter of an agreement, but what's the spirit of the agreement? You do your best to match them up. It doesn't always work that way. But you want to make sure the spirit of the agreement is we're going to do whatever we can to drive a couple of key KPIs. And I think we have to make sure we're clear on what those are. Yes, relevance is one. It's a little amorphous. Judging relevance, we have great metrics and we work with an amazing business intelligence and analytics team, both internally and some external resources, and we can judge sentiment. And it's off the charts already. We've all seen it. If it wasn't, I would have been surprised, but it even shocked all of us how people feel about this launch and this opportunity. Then the other two are much more tangible. They're much more objective, and they are driving fundraising and membership. So that's what makes this unique yes, the YMCA is a nonprofit, and the YMCA of Metro Atlanta is a nonprofit, but there are key goals that we have to be driving. And that's where collaboration comes in. We can't even begin to think that we understand the inner workings of the YMCA of Metro Atlanta and all the various programs and all the various constituents and everything from membership to youth programs, to employee relations, to all of those things. But the good news is when you have a great relationship, you're going to course correct along the way. So there are some pillar strategies here that we're going to be rolling out around driving fundraising and membership. But we're going to find out what's working, what's not working, how do we tweak, how do we correct, so we make sure we're constantly, never-ending improvement. And that's really, what our organization has always been about. So, again, when you have an organization that's deeply rooted in community, it's easy. And community in sports used to be one CSR person. You had one, corporate social responsibility. It is truly a thread that goes through our entire organization. Everything from the player side to corporate partnerships, to ticketing, to marketing, to external affairs, to HR, to legal, to finance. Community is everywhere, whether it's financial inclusion, whether it's fighting prostate cancer, food insecurity, or certainly access to youth sports and all the various components of this partnership.
Excellent.
I love it. I'm seeing now why Kristin, after Andrew spoke at our retreat and all the board members were coming up to you saying, I would have paid to hear Andrew speak, like for professional learning. I'm feeling that in this call. I am feeling that. It's incredible.
No, they did. Andrew, they were like, oh my gosh, I never thought in a million years I'd get to meet Andrew Saltzman.
You know what? Again, I just, I'm very passionate about this. And I just believe in stories. And I love the story here. And Lauren and I talk so much. It's just everybody I meet has a story about the why. It's so perfect. And when I spoke to the Sports Business Journal and I speak to people in the business, and as this was percolating, I said, if this happens, trust me, this will be the greatest story in the history of on-uniform branding, which started in European soccer. And that's not hyperbole. That's not BS. That's not me just talking about how, I truly believe this is, and as we roll this out, this will be the greatest story in on-uniform branding. And this is a major asset. Every sport is doing it now. And the only one who's really not is the NFL on regular season. They do it in preseason. Baseball, hockey, obviously MLS, EPL, European soccer. Every league is doing on-uniform branding as the pivotal anchor position and platform for probably one of their biggest, if not their biggest, sponsor deals. And this story is truly going to set the tone for what it could be.
And let me just build on that really quickly. I was at a meeting last week and I was talking to a Y professional who's been in the Y for 25 years. And he said to me, this is the most exciting thing from a marketing perspective that has happened in any Y in the 25 years that I've been here. And really just thanked our organization for seeing the potential and understanding not only the impact it'll have in Atlanta, but the impact it'll have across the country. Because every time the Atlanta Hawks play on the road, that logo is going to be seen in that market. It'll be seen on television anytime anyone's watching a game. So this is absolutely about Atlanta, but it's also really exciting to be able to support the Y across the country and really internationally as well.
I think that's a great point. And I think everybody, tonight we're playing the world champion Denver Nuggets. And the game is broadcast in Denver. And so people in Denver are going to see not only the Y on the jersey of the Atlanta Hawks, but all the other TV visible signage and activation. That is going to have benefit to Denver. And to Lauren and Kristin's, credit, this was a rising tide that's going to lift all ships. We're the YMCA. If they're going to get benefit, our games are broadcast globally. So if someone in China or someone in Europe or someone in South America is seeing that and making that connection, that's great, which is why one of the components that we baked into this partnership is what they call international marketing team partnership rights. So the opportunity to use the mark globally between the Y and the Atlanta Hawks is a really exciting feature and made a lot of sense as a component of the overall partnership.
Oh, wow. Wow. So, Lauren, you spoke on some of this, but what are some of the ways this partnership will benefit the Y and the local community? And additionally, what ways do you envision leveraging this partnership to encourage community involvement and the support for the Y's program and services?
Well, I think anytime we can use a platform, I mean, the platform that the Hawks have is unbelievable, both in terms of the reach they have through their season ticket holders, their other corporate and partners and sponsors, their social media presence. I mean, anytime we can work together to leverage that to get the story of the Y out into the community is a great thing. We want kids to know that the YMCA is a place that they can come and obviously be a part of youth sports, especially basketball, but, also just know that the Y is a safe place. The Y is a place that cares for kids and their families. We really think a lot about the idea that if a Y is in a community, that community is stronger. And, we want to make sure that every kid out there, every family knows that the Y is there for them. And I really believe that fundamentally the Y helps build relationships and helps build belonging and achievement in terms of anything that you're trying to do. We want to build confidence and character. And so again, it's a great opportunity to think about bringing the current generation, but really the next generation. We want them to see the Y as their place. This is where they go. And it's a place that they feel accepted for who they are. So I think the opportunity to partner with the Hawks and really leverage the platform and the street credibility that they have for the Y is a great thing. And I said something in a video recently about this, and I really meant it. The Y logo on those jerseys, it's sitting over the hearts of the players. And I really love the idea that the Y is on their hearts as they go out and play for their city. And that's how we feel. We feel like we're here to serve the community and the people of Atlanta. And it just feels so right to have that logo over those players' hearts.
Absolutely.
Beautifully spoken,
Yeah,
Lauren.
absolutely.
My goodness. Love
Absolutely.
that. So Andrew and Lauren alluded to this in several of their comments, Kristin, but you and I have had some separate conversations about the calls that you've been receiving from Y executives from across the country. Would love to hear what have been some of those comments and calls been like.
Well, it's been overwhelming. As I shared earlier, Andrew came and spoke at the COO conference. So a couple of folks were like, did you guys have this in the works the whole time and we're holding out on us? And I said, no, Andrew actually got the big idea when he came to visit. But it's just been so, I think Lauren and Andrew have both talked about it, but it's a way to keep the Y relevant. Thank you for doing this for the movement. This sets the Y at a whole new level for everyone. How do I do this? Help me get one of these too. Thank you for being so innovative. Thank you for thinking outside the box for partnerships. I could go on, but it's all been congrats. Thank you. It really is just so much heartfelt gratefulness from the COOs across the movement, across all of our Ys, because they understand, like Lauren shared and like Andrew shared, this is the Y logo. We all have the Y logo in our Ys. And to know that it's on a Hawks jersey, of course, again, goes back to excites me a lot. But as Andrew shared, we have games, the Hawks have games in other cities that have YMCAs. And so they start to look at that and say, oh gosh, I didn't think about playing basketball at the YMCA. I need to maybe go look at my local YMCA. Maybe I'll get a membership there. It's not just about us. It's about all of us. And I love, Lauren, what you shared, that this is one of the most exciting marketing things. And, I've been in the Y since dinosaurs roamed the earth. So for years. So this is, I think about it all the time, but the COOs out there have been very congratulatory, very excited, and very appreciative.
Excellent. There was some conversation about a lot of excitement and build up around activations. Being at the Andrew and Walter Young Family YMCA, I am very excited about the upcoming gym renovations that State Farm and the Hawks are going to be sponsoring. And I was actually here in a previous life when I was teaching here, but I was here during the initial renovations and when the Dominique posters were put up and everything. So this second go around is going to be incredible. And we've been talking about it a lot. And I know since the gym has been closed, we've unfortunately had to stop a lot of young men and women who are coming in with their basketball saying, just give us a little bit more time. It's coming. But Andrew and Lauren, if you will, please provide a little preview of planned activities, activations, events, and initiatives that fans can look forward to as a result of this collaboration.
Sure. I think, one of the things that we come with a theme every year, and it's important. It needs to mean something, not just to the players and the coaches, but to the entire organization, to the community we serve. And this year's theme is Lift as We Fly. What a perfect theme. If I could have branded this partnership, forget that, I would have said Lift as We Fly. It's just a great, I think it's a great umbrella. And that, speaks to our jerseys. We're known for, having great design and a great merch feel. And the jerseys are flying off the shelves, which we love. And so our city edition is really exciting this year. Every year, teams can do their own city editions. So our Lift as We Fly city edition jerseys are really, really great. And obviously to have the Y there. So that's one of the overarching platforms. We look at our organization, we have so many different touch points. Something that the Y is involved in, which is really exciting, is our presenting partner for the Atlanta Dancers and how these women can really impact young women and girls at the YMCA of Metro Atlanta. And we're really excited about all the activations that are going to be a byproduct of that. So, the great thing about this is, there's a jersey there's a logo on the jersey, but that's just a component. There's so much more that you're seeing at the various locations, certainly in the arena as well. So it's, that kind of gets back to the work starts when you sign and player appearances at YMCAs. That's going to be really important. Obviously, we have a wonderful mascot and all the other touch points. But in the arena, you feel it. It's authentic. All the connection as we're driving fundraising and membership is going to feel natural and fully integrated and not forced and not fake, because those are two words that are not what this partnership is about. So that just kind of high level, Robert, gives you a sense of some of those activations.
For me, one of the things that was so amazing is that we did do this pretty quickly. We were able to come together and really think about how we could partner in this way. And so from the time that we started talking about the big idea to when we announced at the media launch, it was a pretty quick turnaround. So, I think the Y and the Hawks folks really thought about, let's get to the point that we can announce, and then we all have faith that we'll come together and find the right activation strategies and working in good faith towards that. And kind of that's what Andrew alluded to in terms of having that spirit of partnership. And so I think, we're now involved in some really exciting conversations. I mean, Kristin and I have had brainstorming sessions with a ton of our team members and our staff. We've had brainstorming sessions with board members. And now there's a weekly standing activation meeting with the team at the Hawks, which is just incredible. So, to Andrew's point, everything that happens inside the stadium, all of the media, all of the things that are happening to really, again, bring the authenticity of the Y and the Hawks partnership to life as part of the experience. But then outside of that, as Andrew said, the player appearances, coaches clinics, all sorts of things that we can do. When I think about how we can take a program like we have, Boys and Young Men of Color, which started at the Andrew and Walter Young Family YMCA, and really think about how does a program like that begin to connect with the DEI work that the Atlanta Hawks are so focused on? How can we, show young people that there are careers in sports on the other side of the ball? There's so many ways that we can activate this to show youth possibilities, opportunities. And so it's just an exciting thing to explore. And I think, Andrew's been in this business for 30 plus years. I was in sports marketing at the very beginning of my career for about 3. And so, I think that's what's so exciting, is that it really is limitless in terms of opportunities to think together and grow together over the next 2 years.
Wow. So this perfectly leads us into the next question. This is for Andrew. So the NBA is known for its global reach. How do you see this partnership extending beyond the local community and making an impact at a greater scale?
Yeah, I think a lot of that is this is the only asset that travels with the team. That's it. I mean, on their jersey, the jerseys are made by Nike. So there's a Nike swoosh. Outside of that, the only brand that's associated with these players, and what's unique about the NBA more so than any other sport, is the players and these superstars specifically have become brands in and of themselves. So you're talking about a little kid, pick any town in any country in the world, seeing Trae Young and what's happened on social media and what happens with ESPN and clip and share highlights. You're seeing Trae, and when he takes one of his logo threes and he's doing his ice tray and he's got the Y logo right there, that kid is saying, I want to. And that's what's great about Trae, because he's not a 7-foot high flying dunker. He's a kid. He's someone that kids can relate to, because he's not, he's 6'1". He's not, they can say, I can be that if this guy who's one of the smaller players on the court can achieve that. So that's really the full component. But then you start going deeper. That's why we felt international rights were going to be important. Last year we played in Abu Dhabi. This year we played a game in Mexico City. We're committed to continuing to be a global brand. So I envision us having another global game somewhere in the next year or two. But regardless, how we look at key markets and take this partnership and leverage that, whether it's in Europe, whether that's South America, whether that's Asia, we're really excited. And I happen to have, and Lauren knows this, a old college friend who's been part of the YMCA organization on the global side for 20 plus years. So exciting to be able to get a chance to come full circle for me personally and work with a dear friend of mine from college, from my college days.
Well, and we can name him. His name is Tom Valentine, and he does work for YUSA and leads all of the global partnerships. And he and Andrew were in college together at Georgetown, right, Andrew? And Tom, housemates. Tom refers to Andrew as Andy, so I'm going to have to ask if I can have special permission to call him Andy. But, Tom and I have already talked, and Tom's planning on coming into town to talk to Andrew and myself around what does this mean internationally for the Y. And I think you've probably shared this as host before. The YMCA of Metro Atlanta is very engaged in the global Y movement. We have 3 partnerships, very close partnerships with Ys around the world. Our partnership with the YMCAs of South Africa, our partnership with the YMCA of the Republic of Georgia and Tbilisi, as well as our newest partnership with the YMCAs of Philippines. So again, to Andrew's point, we're really connected even as a YMCA of Metro Atlanta around the world, and we look forward to thinking about how this partnership can enrich those Ys as well.
I love that small world connection between you and Tom, Andrew. That is so cool. All right. I have one of our last questions before we get to kind of our customary traditional last question. And that is for Andrew and Lauren. And it's like, let's say someone's listening to this podcast and maybe they're not a member of the Y. How can they get involved to support this partnership and this initiative? What advice would you have for them?
Well, I can jump in. I mean, I think, first of all, you should be a member of the Y. It is a great organization for your family. Okay, I've said that. I do think that, the Y is the first, we should be a child's first recreational sports organization. We're all about teaching kids, the rules of the game, learning to have fun, learning to be on a team. It's not about high pressure. It's not about, that pressure cooker kind of environment. We want kids from about 3 to 10 to really get out there, try, be a part of it. And of course, continue on with us. We're going to be doing more adult basketball leagues as well, which is kind of cool. But I also want people to know that they can volunteer at the Y. If you care about your community, volunteering at your local Y is a great way to make a difference. And here's a great example of, you can volunteer as a youth basketball coach, and you can get trained by the phenomenal coaches of the Atlanta Hawks and really, really bring all of what they teach you to bear to help kids moving forward. So, I would just say, definitely join the Y if you want to support this, and the financial assistance we give away so that we don't turn any child away from the Y. You can certainly donate, but also consider volunteering to coach one of our youth sports. We would love that.
Anything you'd like to add, Andrew, to that?
I mean, that was just perfect. And I think you're going to start seeing the various components and platforms around driving fundraising, whether that's buying a jersey with the Y on it, supporting various initiatives at the game, finding out about it through our social and digital channels, through our television and radio broadcasts. So as these roll out, you're not going to have to really think too hard if you're engaged at all in the Atlanta Hawks. How do I support that? Another thing that I think is certainly also worth mentioning is that the Y comes in and will be on the jersey of our College Park Skyhawks, which is our G League team that plays down an amazing facility, the Gateway Center, down in College Park. The organization, 2 Chainz, has come in we launched the team as a part owner. So very, very exciting about that.
And Andrew, one other piece to our partnership that is so cool and so aligned with what we're doing is the esports piece. So we are a partner of the Sky Talons, which is the esports team of the Atlanta Hawks. And as you guys know, we have been building esports really labs in all of our YMCAs to engage young people and teens in esports as well. So there's a perfect opportunity for our kids to get to see what the Talons do and learn from them. So, I mean, the ways that this partnership, again, kind of crosses over in so many different areas is just, it's just beautiful and it's symmetry, truly.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think what we're doing around our esports team that plays in the NBA 2K League, again, another example of the NBA being as forward-thinking as they are, to be the first professional league to start its own esports league around NBA 2K, and our team, the Hawks Talent Gaming Club, to have the Y there. We know kids, that's their jam. That's where they're going to start, learning about the game and playing NBA 2K, and then, seeing our players and actually on the jerseys of our players that are playing in the avatars, it's going to be really special. And again, all about relevance, driving that connection. This is a brand I can relate to.
That is absolutely incredible. I guess I'll be telling my age, but when I was in school, the most elaborate sports game we had was Tecmo Bowl. So, that was the most elaborate game we had. But Andrew, this question is primarily for you. We've had the privilege of speaking with Lauren and Kristin on our show before. This is our opportunity to kind of get an idea and learn from you how you first connected to the Y. So if you will, in your own words, please tell us how you first connected to the Y, your personal Y story.
Yeah, it's very powerful. In fact, I was talking about this story a few weeks ago to my 92-year-old mother, because it's really about family. So my father, we grew up in New York City, and my father had some heart disease back in the late 70s. So he was in his late 40s at the time, and he was really given 2 choices. It was have this new, at the time, very cutting edge surgery called a double bypass surgery. Or there was a doctor who had created a program at the 92nd Street Y in Manhattan that if you went on a certain diet, lower sodium, but an exercise regimen, you could forego having this surgery. So my dad, passed a few years ago, but my mentor, my best friend, everybody knew Herbie Saltzman. And because he went there, we all went there. And me and my buddies, would go play ball there in middle school, elementary school. And there you go. You see Herbie Saltzman throwing the medicine ball. It was like a joke. Oh, Herbie's there throwing the medicine ball. Kind of the short white tennis shorts. He loved it. It was a place it was a happy place for my dad, literally up until, probably the year or so before he passed. He would still go there. It was in the neighborhood, and it was a huge point of connection. I'll tell you, I lost that connection. I go to college and you start your lives and stuff. And then, about 4 or 5 years ago, when I was really thinking through, Atlanta is my home. I don't plan on leaving here. I'm entrenched here. It's been so great to me, this city, but I want to be involved in a nonprofit here. And a dear friend of mine, partner of mine named Kevin Greiner, the CEO of Gas South, said to me, we were talking when he goes, I want you to just learn about what the YMCA of Metro Atlanta is all about. And he had me meet a gentleman named Ed Munster and then Lauren Koontz. And we actually did a tour. And one of the Ys we went to was the Villages of Carver Family YMCA. And to go down there and see it, I said really pretty quickly, this is an organization I want to be a part of. And I think, over that first year or two, started to, initially I was the new guy, and you want to be, even for me, a little more quiet, a little listen and take it in. And then, as I got entrenched and spent more time with Lauren, but specifically Kristin on a committee that I renamed and said, let's call this committee what it is. It's not, business, technology. It's a revenue committee. We're driving revenue here for the organization. So let's just throw it on out there. It's just been an amazing ride. And as I said, we're not done. This is just the next step here. And I'm so excited because I don't really know what the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months and few years can be like, but I'm excited that you get to do it with people you adore, and really make a difference in the community.
Absolutely.
What a great story.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes.
Gosh, what a great episode. I love this.
What better way to start Monday, right?
Yes.
I can't do this on a Monday.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you guys so much. Kristin and Lauren, thank you for coming back to Y Connect. And Andrew, wow, what a treat. We'd love to have you back. Once this partnership is kind of off and rolling, maybe we can have some of you and your colleagues come back to Y Connect and share some of their work.
As you can probably figure out, I used to say I never met a microphone I didn't like. A very dangerous place to be is between me and the microphone. But I'll say podcast, camera, Zoom, Teams, Google Hang. I'm excited. I love talking about this.
Yep. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Have a great day.
You too.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Yeah, go
There
Hawks.
we go.
Thank you for listening to the Y Podcast. To continue the conversation or to find your closest Y, please connect with us at ymcaatlanta.org and sign up for our newsletter, Healthy Together.
Yay!